Hello students, welcome to the channel. In this video, we'll solve the fifth and final English passage of the April 2018 ACT Form A09, Cozy Graffiti. In 2005, Houston shop owner Magda Saik knit a blue and pink cozy or fitted cover for the street side door handle of her store. It was a slow day, Saik was bored. To her surprise, the seemingly out-of-place little cozy drew a lot of attention and often made people smile. Inspired by the effects, Saik knit a leg warmer for the stop sign on the corner. This time, drivers actually pulled over for a closer look. Which of the following alternatives to the underlined portion would not be acceptable? So here I'm saying, inspired by the effects, Saik knit a leg warmer for the stop sign. So this is a modifier, which tells me that Saik was inspired by the response to the cozy and she knit a leg warmer. Because Saik was inspired by the effects, she knit a leg warmer. So that makes sense. She went ahead and did that because she was happy with the response to the cozy. So A is acceptable. So this can't be my answer. The effects which were inspiring for Saik, this is wrong, right? Because this makes it sound that the effects knit a leg warmer, and that doesn't make sense. It is Saik who knit the leg warmer, so this should be my answer. Saik, taking inspiration from the effects, knit a leg warmer. So this is also correct. It was Saik who knit the leg warmer. So this can't be my answer. The effects were inspiring for Saik. She knit a leg warmer. So this is also correct. This is one sentence. And then I'm saying she knit a leg warmer. That's the second sentence. So I'm putting a semicolon between them. So this is fine. So it's acceptable. So the answer is B. Some people even took pictures of the sign. As Sai expanded her territory around Houston, her then anonymous projects gained notoriety online and in newspapers, sparking similar endeavors by knitters and crocheters around the globe. Adopting the utterances of graffiti, these yarn artists commonly refer to the act of covering something with knitted or crocheted yarn, such as tagging. So adopting the language of graffiti, right? I'm not talking about an actual utterance, right? It is not something that has been said. I'm using the terminology that graffiti applies. So utterances is not good. Verbalization also indicates something spoken, so that doesn't make sense. And talk is not used in the context of saying the terminology, right? So H is the right answer. These yarn artists commonly refer to the act of covering something with knitted or crocheted yarn as tagging, not such as tagging. Such as is when you give examples of something, but I'm saying they refer to this act as tagging. So this is idiomatic usage. You need to know how the verb refer is used in a sentence. So C. Like and do not go with the sense of how refer is used, so they are wrong as well. They take measurements of an object they wish to cover, stitch at home, and then quietly wrap the object during the night. Rather, in the morning, a park full of trees wrapped in striped leg warmers welcomes joggers. Giant metal chain links on a wharf appear covered in violet, green, and white. So here I'm describing the process of tagging, right? What these knitters and crocheters do. They take measurements of the object that they want to cover and they stitch at home and then do this wrapping at night quietly, right? So this rather doesn't make sense here because rather indicates contrast and there is no contrast. I'm simply saying that in the morning when joggers come to the park, they could find trees wrapped in striped leg warmers. So F doesn't make sense. Specifically makes it sound that I'm only focusing on this sentence. But if you look at the next one, it says giant metal chain links on a wharf appear and sidewalks cracks are filled with skinny. So I'm giving examples of how tagging is done by knitters. So specifically doesn't fit here. And meanwhile also doesn't fit here because this is not happening while the knitters are working during the night, right? This happens the next day. And this basically describes the process. This basically describes examples of how knitters tag. So you don't really need a connector here. Simply say, in the morning, a park full of trees wrapped in striped leg warmers welcomes joggers. Giant metal chain links on a wharf appear covered in violet, green, white, blue. The writer wants to emphasize the idea that wrapping an object in yarn has the effect of softening the object's appearance. Which choice best accomplishes that goal? Covered in, new with freshly knitted yarn in, highlighted in vibrant colors of, swaddled in fuzzy hues of. So if I want to give the impression of softening the appearance of the object, then D is the best answer, right? Because if I'm saying that metal chains are swaddled in fuzzy hues, then fuzzy here means that something which softens the appearance of the metal chain. So that is exactly what I'm looking for. To be covered in this color doesn't have the connotation of softening, so it's not A. Freshly knitted yarn does not convey softening, so it's not B. And vibrant colors actually gives the appearance opposite of softening, right? If something is vibrant, it's kind of loud, it strikes you. So it's not C as well. Sidewalk cracks being filled with skinny knitted ropes of magenta. So here, obviously, the way it's written is wrong because this being does not complete the sentence. So this is wrong. If I say sidewalks, cracks, which are filled, then it also leaves the sentence incomplete. So this is wrong. Sidewalk cracks are filled with skinny ropes of magenta. This is correct because one, it completes the sentence and it also maintains the structure that I have established in the paragraph, right? A park full of trees wrapped in striped leg warmers welcomes joggers. Giant metal wharfs appear, swaddled in fuzzy hues. Sidewalk cracks are filled with, right? So H is the best answer. And J is wrong because this eliminates the verb and it doesn't complete the sentence. Some yarn graffiti artists mainly want to surprise people, offering a bit of homey comfort where we are least expected. Okay, so here I'm saying some yarn graffiti artists mainly want to surprise our people, offering a bit of homey comfort. So this has to be the independent clause. And this is, as we can see, the dependent clause. So then the way it's written is fine because some yarn graffiti artists mainly want to surprise people is a complete sentence. So I like A. If I say by mainly wanting, then I need something to complete it. So this is not independent. Who mainly want? Not independent. Mainly wanting? Not independent. So the only option that's an independent sentence is A. Offering a bit of homey comfort where we are least expected. So this is wrong, right? Because this has to be a pronoun for homey comfort. The yarn graffiti artists offer homey comfort where the comfort is least expected. So it's least expected, right? This is the pronoun for comfort. We is not correct. We refers to people. You and one. None of them are inanimate pronouns. So J. Others, however, aim for a more political message. They drape cannons and tanks in colorful crocheted afghans. Okay, so here again, I noticed that this part, others, however, aim for a more political message. This part is independent. And this part then has to be dependent because I have a comma after message. But if I say they drape, then that becomes an independent sentence and leads to a comma splice error. So option A is wrong. If I say such yarn artists have draped, that also becomes an independent sentence. Draping. Draping is correct because that leaves the part after the comma dependent. Others aim for a more political message, draping cannons and tanks in colorful crocheted afghans. So this should be my answer. And they might drape also starts a new sentence, so that's wrong. In 2011, knitter Jessie Hemmings decided she had had enough of people snapping pictures of the bronze statue of Rocky, a fictional boxer, in front of the Philadelphia Museum of Art without ever going inside the museum. Okay, so here I am introducing the knitter. I'm giving her name. So this is essential to the sentence. So the way it's written is fine. If I put dashes around her name or commas around her name, then that indicates that her name is additional information, which is not true. I'm introducing her, so this is wrong. And a single comma is used when you're separating a modifier or a dependent clause from an independent clause. So that doesn't make sense here because this is a straight sentence, subject and predicate. So J is wrong. She had had enough of people snapping pictures of the bronze statue of Rocky in front of the Philadelphia Museum of Art without ever going inside the museum. So the way it's written is fine, doesn't have any redundancy, so I like A. Without ever going inside the museum that they are standing in front of, that's understood, it's already written in the sentence. So this is redundant. The Philadelphia Museum of Art features works of art. That's understood. That's given in the name. So this is redundant. And I don't have to repeat the entire name. I can simply say museum. So this is also redundant. Option A. She crafted a bright pink hoodie for the muscular figure who was played by Sylvester Stallone in the Rocky movies. Given that all the choices are accurate, which one best supports the idea that the writer is putting forth at this point in the essay? Okay, so she crafted a pink hoodie for the figure, which stands at the bottom of the 72 steps leading up to the museum entrance. Figure and carried a step ladder to the side so she could reach the statue. Figure adding an embroidered imperative, go see the art. So I think it would be J, right? Because we know that she was flustered and she was a little upset that people would simply take pictures of the statue of Rocky and not go inside the museum. So she knit this bright pink hoodie and she added an embroidered command, imperative, go see the art. That is to say, don't just take pictures of Rocky, go inside and see the art. So this kind of fits with what the paragraph is saying. The fact that the character was played by Sylvester Stallone, that's not really relevant to Jessie's story, so it's not F. Where the figure stands is not relevant to her story. And the fact that she carried a step ladder to reach the statue, that also doesn't make sense in regard to the message that she wants to send out. Although yarn tagging is a form of graffiti, it's tolerated more often than other forms because the yarn can be simply snipped off. Okay, so it's tolerated. Obviously, I have to refer to it is. So this is correct with the apostrophe. So D is wrong and B, this is not a word. You have IT apostrophe S, which is it is. And you have ITS without the apostrophe, which is the pronoun, right? But you don't have ITS apostrophe, that's not a word. Now it's tolerated more often than THAN, comparative, not THEN. So it's A. It's tolerated more often than other forms because the yarn can be simply snipped off. This may be the aspect that allows people to smile as they drop coins into a cozy purple parking meter and to consider the artist's sweet or edgy point. So here I'm trying to say that people drop coins into a cozy purple parking meter to consider the artist's sweet point or edgy point. So or edgy is additional because my sentence can stand without or edgy. So when I have additional information, I put it between a pair of commas or a pair of dashes. So the right answer would be G because I have a pair of dashes here. F has a single dash, H has a single comma, and J has a single comma. So we need a pair, so G. Question 75 asks about the preceding passage as a whole. Suppose the writer's primary purpose had been to offer an overview of a cultural phenomenon. Would this essay accomplish that purpose? Yes, because it describes the range of Sayag's yarn graffiti projects from the door-handle cozy to larger projects throughout Houston. Yes, because it briefly traces the development of yarn graffiti, offers examples, and discusses the variety of artists' intentions. No, because it explains what yarn graffiti is, but suggests that few people are involved in it. No, because it focuses mainly on creating a profile of Sayag as the first yarn graffiti artist. So it's B, right? We do get a sense of yarn graffiti as a cultural phenomenon. We start with Sayag, who was kind of the first person to do it, but we also look at other examples of yarn graffiti. We look at the intentions of artists, so B is correct. So A is not right because that's not the focus. We go beyond Sayag, so that's not right. So the idea that few people are involved in it doesn't really matter because it's a phenomenon, it's a cultural thing. So people who are interested take it up. So C is not a relevant reason. And D is incorrect because it goes beyond creating a profile of Sayag, right? It definitely looks at other aspects. So B. Okay, let's grade this. 61. BHCJD, BHCJD, HAJCF, HAJCF, AJAGB, AJAGB. Okay, great. So we got all correct. Hope this helped. If it did, hit like and subscribe to the channel. I've uploaded solutions videos to the complete ACT tests of this year. So be sure to check those out. I'll link to them in the description box. I'll see you guys in a new video soon. Take care. Bye-bye.